Hi Stamping friends, this is Sharon McNall and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I hope you are as well. If you're not, please join our team, which is called the Inspired Daisies Team of Stampers. You can get the information at this link over here. Today is card number 2 in a series of 4 cards made with the Flight and Airy designer paper. So the one we made in the first video was this one. It was a thank you card. So this is one side of the paper. And then the other side is this one here. And I really like this one because it's got a lot of the pinks and oranges in it. And I kind of gravitate to that. The main color in here is boho blue. And then today's card here, we're going to add a little embossed panel. It's a sending hugs card, and I did fussy cut out these the bird patterns, but it's very simple to do that with your paper snips, so don't get worried about that. So that's one pattern. The other one here, this was an edge piece, so this is why it's straight over here. Make sure you're checking your edge pieces because they're still good to use. As you can see, I just cut it down and lined it up over here, and you can't really even tell. And then here's another one. I was able to cut out 2 birds. So those birds are sending you some hugs. On the envelope, I stamped it, but today I'm going to be adding a strip of designer paper just to use up some scraps that I have. Okay, so the Flight and Airy designer paper comes from Sale-a-bration, and that is running from January 4th to February 29th, 2024. And as you can see, it has so many different colors from Stampin' Up. So I'll go over those colors with you right now. It's boho blue, bubble bath, calypso coral, crumb cake, daffodil delight, flirty flamingo, fresh freesia, garden green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Pecan Pie, and Soft Seafoam. So you can earn this paper pack for free with a $50 purchase from my online store, which is inspiredbygram.com. And if you want the item number for the Flight and Airy designer paper, it's 162977. You can find it on page 6 of the Sale-a-bration brochure. And again, you can earn this for free with a $50 purchase. Okay, so we're going to get started making the card here. I've got lots of little pieces here, but I'm going to show you a trick to save some designer paper. All right, I'm going to start by stamping first. So this die cut here, it comes from the, let's see, what was it called? I'm thinking, and can't remember what it was. Oh wait, the Thoughtful Expressions die. Sorry about that. So it's a new die set for us. I'm going to be using the Pecan Pie because I have Pecan Pie color cardstock in the paper itself. It's the one that's going around the basic white embossed panel. So I'm just going to take my photopolymer stamp and I'm just going to kind of center it on that die cut. And kind of doing it the best I can on video. So make sure when you're stamping that you're stamping on the smooth side, and if you kind of mess up, well then you have the back side to work with, except for it's going to be a little bit rough, but don't worry about that. All right, so that's all the stamping we have. Next step is just to adhere everything together and we'll be done. So I'm working with crumb cake cardstock. It's 8.5 cross by 5.5 tall, and I've already pre-scored it with my bone folder at 4 1/4. And then I want to show you a trick. So normally we would just cut a piece of designer paper 4 by 5 1/4, and I would layer it on here. Since I am adding something on top of the designer paper, you can get away with a smaller piece. Okay, so these are cut 4 inches across by 1 1/4 in height. So let me just take my liquid glue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue both of them to the card front and the top and the bottom of the crumb cake. So we'll just add this right here, and we'll just make sure it's straight. And I got some glue oozing out there. I've got a new bottle of liquid glue, so when you have new bottles, it just comes out so quickly. So just try to control it a little bit better so that doesn't happen. And now I'm going to add this one down at the bottom, and I'm just kind of looking up at the top just to make sure I've got it kind of centered amongst the top and the bottom. All right, that gets set aside. And now here is the embossed panel. It comes from, and I'll show you the front of the embossing folder. It's called the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. It's so pretty. And I don't know if you can kind of see it right here, but it's just gorgeous to have an embossed panel behind your focal point. So let me just grab that liquid glue again. And now it's going to be edge to edge. But then we've got a small border on the top and the bottom of the pecan pie. All right, so that looks pretty good. Next thing we're going to do is we'll flip it over and we're going to add 4 Stampin' dimensionals. I'm not going to add one in the middle just because this is kind of a smaller panel and you can get by with just 4 dimensionals. Make sure they're pressed down really well, and then you can use your fingernail, or I like to just pop it off with my piercing tool here, and they come right up. Now we'll take this panel. You might want to take a look at it first before you adhere it down to the card front, because one way might look better than the other. So I can see that I'm going to flip this over, and there's flowers right here. So this is kind of a directional embossing folder, so we don't want to put those flowers on upside down. Now I'm just going to hover over the designer paper and line it up with the edges over here, and then everything else should fall in place. So far, so good. We'll take the birds that I've already fussy cut, and then I'm going to add dimensionals to this small piece here. So you kind of just have to strategize as to where you want to put them. I think 3 would be enough. Just scatter them about, let's see, actually, and maybe put 4 just to get that piece over there. And again, I'll just make sure they're pressed down real nice, and I'll just use my pokey tool here just to press down and take those dimensional backings off really quickly. Okay, so now these birds are kind of looking at each other. So let me show you this one over here. So since this one is looking towards the left side, of course, I'll want to put it on the right side. So if I put it over here, well, then it's going to be looking off the side of the card, and that would look kind of funny. So I'm going to just put this one kind of off to the left side because I got to leave some room for the sentiment. All right, because the sentiment's going to go right here. So now to get this level, because these panels are already lifted up, we need to add our liquid glue here and then 2 Stampin' dimensionals at the bottom. So we'll just add those 2 first, and then we'll add our liquid glue. Again, make sure they're pressed down really well. I'm just going to take my pokey tool here, press those in. And then let's take our liquid glue and just run some right here. And now I'm going to just find a place over here on the right side and just make sure it's straight. So the liquid glue is adhering to the embossed, basic white embossed panel. And then the dimensionals are adhering to the designer paper. All right, now we're going to take the basic white for the inside, and that's cut 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got 2 pieces of scrap. I'm going to use this one. It's 4 inches across, and I think this was cut like it was maybe, I think it was 1/2 inch. So I'll just add my glue to the back side, and then we will just bring this right across. If it's running over, just use your paper snips to trim it off. And then we've got the panel going on the inside. You can stamp something on the white if you wanted to dress it up a little bit. I love to use designer paper on my white on the inside. Okay, and so now we've just got this other strip of designer paper. Let's make this front of the envelope pretty. This is, I think it's like 3/4 inch across, and the height is 4 3/8, I believe. something like that. Just make sure it's pressed down really well. You don't want it peeling off, and you don't want it over the edge here. So mine is over the edge just by a tiny bit. I don't have my paper snips here, but I'm gonna take my children's scissors. I like to keep these in here for my grandsons. And we'll just trim that little piece off. Now to finish it off, because we always want to finish it off with some kind of beautiful embellishments. And I'm going to be using the iridescent foil gems. And these, there's 100 in the pack. And there's 2 different sizes. Then we've got a larger one, and we have a smaller one. And I'm just trying to see where my pokey tool is. Kind of lost it over there on the side. Now we're working with an embossed panel here, so I got to kind of find a flatter spot to add my embellishments. I don't want to put them on the embossed part if I don't have to. All right, so we've got that one there, and I'm going to start creating my triangle. We can actually put one down here too. That would be just perfect. And then let's see, I think I'm going to go with, oh, I'm having a hard time taking these off. It's my pokey tool. Okay, so I'm going to make my triangle. So I've got one here, here, and let's go way up here, and that will form our triangle. I'm going to put it in this area here where it doesn't have any foliage. You can splatter with your Wink of Stella. You can kind of take your Wink of Stella and just kind of brush stroke it onto these little pretty birds, and that will provide a little bit of glitter to them as well. That's always fun. You can always take your Wink of Stella and tap on the cap and splatter a little bit of the Wink of Stella as well. That's always fun to do. Okay, so let's take a look here what we've got. This is the one we just made. So pretty. And then here's another one. I put the sentiment on the top because that's how it kind of flowed. And then here's another one. It's the same actual bird design, so I guess I recreated this one. And then here's one with a single bird with all that pink, so fresh freesia, bubble bath, and flirty flamingo. All right, so if you would like to join Stampin' Up, again, we would love to have you on our team. We're called the Inspired Daisies. And if you would like to place an order from my website, you can go to inspiredbygraham.com. I do hope you take advantage of all the free products in the Sale-a-bration, which ends on February 29th, 2024. Okay, you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.